going to catch up with BYU offensive line coach TJ Woods. I had a great chat with him on Friday afternoon, shortly after BYU finished up practice. I had a great conversation about what he expects from this offensive line. He's having to revamp it a little bit because he's got two new offensive tackles. Isaiah Jada, it appears, at left tackle, Andrew Gentry at right tackle. Bruce Mitchell's in the mix at center. What does he make of this offensive line? What does he expect of them? And more importantly, what does he think they need to do to make sure that they're a key part? And as the former BYU offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes said, to be the tip of the spear for the BYU football program. All questions that were addressed. And you're also going to hear a little shout out right at the tail end from Coach Woods. And we'll get to all that right now, right here on Locked On Cougars.
What's it been like so far in camp to integrate new guys, but also some young guys as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's part of the process. That's part of college football. You lose good players and you got to replace them. And we lost three really good players. I mean, we lost three really good leaders too. All three of those guys in their own way added a lot to the group, right? And so. We've been in this process now for a while, through spring, through summer. Summer is a gigantic time for offensive line to be able to gel and come together and really sharpen their sword. And so they've been doing a good job there. The positive for us is we've had the guys since spring, even though Gentry wasn't playing in spring, but still here, still around, building that continuity and that camaraderie that you need to play the position.
Speaking of Gentry, there was some initial concern he may be out for some time. Has he come back in an earlier period than you expected, or has he been kind of the timeline?
He's been on schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been on schedule, and he was actually a little bit ahead of schedule. We made sure that we just were careful with what we were doing there, and happy to have him back. He's a huge addition.
We heard A-Rod say that he expects Jada to be the left tackle and Andrew to be the right tackle. What separates guys and their comfort level and why they fit at one side versus the other?
Well, I mean, I think the first thing is you're protecting the quarterback's blind side on the left side. Now, some of that might be a little bit overplayed in my opinion, but I still think there's a level of being a little bit more agile, maybe a little quicker, and then the right tackle can be maybe somebody that you run behind a little bit, and that's kind of how we've built things in the past. But at the end of the day, we're going to play the best five guys, and right now those two guys are running with the ones. I think we have a lot of competition at a lot of spots. One thing I can guarantee is everything is going to be earned out here. Every single thing. Everybody's job is on the line every single day, and that's how they have to approach it, and they do a good job of that. But the reason why is because competition makes everybody better, and we got a lot of that right now. We got a lot of guys playing, I think, competitive football.
Looking at the guys you've recruited, particularly the tackle, they're all tall. Like Gentry's 6'8", Kime, and who else do you have? 6'9". Like, yep. Is there a reason why you want tall, rangy dudes at tackle?
Yeah, I mean, it's a game of leverage.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's your arm length is important, and how long you can play on the edge, how much space you can take up, how much harder it is to get around you the longer you are. Those type of things play a factor. And the other thing is BYU's always been big. I mean, there's every guy that comes out to practices. I played here in, 19 whatever it was, or 2000. I'm all looking up at every one of them. So I think that's part of just naturally how BYU, people that are attracted to BYU, or however it works out. But to me, we're fortunate to have that length. I've coached a lot of places where we were begging for guys that look like that.
Jada kind of bucks that trend a little bit because he's a little bit shorter, but what sets him apart with his ability, even though he may be a little bit shorter stature-wise?
Yeah, I mean, Jada at BYU is a little shorter.
Yeah.
Jada at every other program in our league
is tall.
Yeah. I mean, he's still a big guy, but I think, his strength is his agility, his quickness, super sharp, very cerebral football player. But yeah, those are kind of his strengths.
It's not very often you bring a guy in like you did with him last year, and he's a senior eligibility-wise, but you redshirt him.
Yeah.
What was the mindset behind that?
Well, I mean, we kind of looked, number one, at his development and what he needed, what we thought he needed. He was a guy that I felt needed a little bit more time to marinate, to be in the weight room. And, Coach Phyllis and his guys, man, shout out to those guys. They've done a tremendous job with all the offensive linemen. But, Jada's gotten stronger. He's develop that way. And so that was kind of our mindset. Like, you know, if we were able to, we wanted to try to give him that opportunity. Now, if we had injuries at that position, then that would have changed things. But luckily, we were blessed with some health at that spot.
Bruce Mitchell is one of my favorite stories. Moves from defensive line and emerges as a guy who's a starting caliber offensive lineman. How has he improved this offseason going into this year at center?
Yeah, I think Bruce was a D lineman playing center
Okay.
a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And that, I don't want to make it sound like it's a knock on Bruce, because Bruce did an incredible job. But, what allowed Bruce to have his success last year was much more what was between his ears and how big his heart was and some of those type of things. And it's just his natural ability. I mean, he's a really good athlete, very strong, very quick, very smart, all of those things. This year, now he's had a chance to really invest in the technique and gain the muscle memory and the repetition that it takes. And so now I think he's becoming more of a complete offensive lineman.
You got some competition with those guard spots. I know that Waylon's probably going to lock down that left side as he usually does, but yeah, Fortune, the kid you brought in from Southern Utah, another Southern Utah guy in Leusa. How are you going to balance all this out?
Yeah, I mean, they're making my job hard, and that's what I tell them every day. That's a good thing, And right now, between Waylon, Sonny, Leusa, and Saforchuk, man, all four of those guys are battling, and they're doing some really, really good stuff out here. So look forward to that competition and to see how that kind of shapes up here through camp.
When you're offensive coordinator, and we ask them this question, like, what do you make your offensive sense? I think we're going to be able to run the football. Do you like hearing that?
Yeah, love that. Yeah, I mean, I think naturally as an offensive lineman, you feel like you have a little bit more control of the game when you're running the ball, and you can be a little bit more aggressive, more violent, right? Even though pass protection's not passive, you're still backing up, where in the run game you can come off the ball and do some of those things. So I think every lineman likes to get a little bit nasty and run the football, and we got good runners, and to me, football's pretty simple. You give the ball to your best players, and we got good players in our backfield, and look for them to really have a breakout seasons, and we have multiple guys, so we're excited about it.
It's pretty highly publicized. You got a quarterback battle going on. What is your message to your offensive line, no matter who's back there? What have you told them about it?
I think for us, we have to be consistent so that they can do their job, and it's never been more important for us than it is right now to be able to do that. Not only so that they can execute and do their job, but also so that we can, as a staff, can evaluate them and figure out who the best one is, right? And so, a lot of times you need the offensive line to play well at quarterback, and you need the offensive line to play well at running back. You need that's so for us, like, that's been our main goal really this entire offseason, is just being consistent, being more steady up front. I think that as I look back last year, we did a lot of really good things, and it's not a knock on that group at all, but I think they did a lot of good things, and I think we have to try to challenge ourselves to do a lot of great things this year, right? We need to go from good to great, and that's been our mindset, and I'm pleased with where we're at right now.
I've heard that from some people, the good to great mentality, because you guys were, let's be honest, so close to making the Big 12 title game appearance a year ago. What's it going to take in your mind to take that next step and go from good to great?
Yeah, I think just consistency. I think we have really good players. I think we're deep enough. We can overcome injuries, those type of things. I think for us, it's going to be in the same group all the time, week in and week out. Like, we have a quote in our room. We say the environment changes, we don't. And that's really been my main focus and our main message to the line this year.
Coach, thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate your podcast, man. You do a heck of a job.
Well, okay,
appreciate you, brother.
This. You have family that watches.
Oh yeah, shout out to my mom,
okay.
Miss Debbie Woods. Shout out. There she is.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Big thank you to Coach Woods, and more importantly, big thank you to his mother for watching this podcast. She is a true everydayer on this podcast, and hey, I always love it when we got people like that are consuming this content. But hey, that goes to the thousands of you who tune into this every single day. Cannot thank you enough. And more importantly, big thank you to Coach Woods for taking the time to sit down with me. And I thought it was very interesting to hear him talk about the mindset he wants his offensive line to have and the mindset he has. They're not ceding an inch, and I can respect that. They understand how close they were a season ago, and there's no reason to give ground when you don't need to. And it'll be important for his offensive line, as revamped as it is and having some new faces along it, to perform as good, if not better, than they did a season ago. And you could hear that with some of the comments he was making there. But once again, a big thank you to Coach Woods and BYU Sports Information